Texas style pulled pork on the Green Mountain Grill's Jim BOWIE. Got a good little bit of bark in there. Hey guys, Brisket Medic here. On this week's episode, like I said, we're going to be doing a Texas style pork butt on the Green Mountain Grill's Jim BOWIE. Now, you may say it's not Texas style because it's on a pellet grill, but cooking styles will prove to be right. Now, what is a pork butt? It's not that booty. We don't do that on camera. It's actually part of the shoulder, the top half of the shank. Bone in is the way to go. Sometimes you can only get it without the bone. Ours is bone in, and this is actually a pork butt that we used in a video, I think I'll link here, right over here, that we sliced some steaks out of and cooked them the way Snow's Barbecue does down in Taylor. So we're going to take this pork butt, we're going to stick it on a rack, we're going to get it seasoned up, we're going to get it in some smoke at 250 degrees and get it cooking. Now you guys may recognize this pork butt again, like this is the one that we cut some steaks out of, and the leftover we stuck in the freezer. And I've got a couple of steaks that I cut out of it even again because this was just a massive pork butt. So we're going to cook these together, but don't worry about those. Just ignore that. That's for me. We got our mixture of salt and pepper. We're going Texas style. Old school Texas style is just salt and pepper. I personally like to add onion and garlic, but for this video, we're just going to do salt and pepper, keeping it simple, stupid. And this is about 40% salt and 60% pepper. And you got to shake it some and then roll it gently so that the different sizes of spices in there don't separate. You really want this to be an even blend. And we're going to coat this pork butt, not as heavy as you would a brisket, but heavy enough to season the whole thing. And what I like to do is put a coat on it and let it sit while the fire gets warm, while the smoker gets turned up. And then after this gets nice and tacky, hit it again with another light coat, because we know that spices and rubs don't really penetrate fat very well. So we're gonna get this thing covered and let it tack over while we start up the smoker. Alright, as our Green Mountain Grill's Jim BOWIE starts to heat up, we're going to turn it to 250 degrees, put another coat on this pork butt, and throw it on there. Now listen, we're going to leave it on there for 2 hours. We're going to walk away and leave it completely alone for 2 hours, and we'll come back and check on it. Let's go. Guys, so we've been on for about 2 hours at 250 degrees. We are using some B&B pellets on our Green Mountain Grill Jim BOWIE right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at this pork butt. And about this time, we're going to start spritzing it. And all we're using on this spritz is water. Nothing else, just plain water. Let's take a look, get it spritzed down, close it down, and be back in an hour. Guys, it's been about 45 minutes to an hour, and we're going to go ahead and spritz this again, and we're going to continue doing it exactly like this every 45 minutes to an hour. Open it up, spritz it, close it, leave it alone until it's time to wrap. Keep watching, we'll be back, and I'll show you exactly when it's time to wrap. Until then, every 45 minutes to an hour, spritz it and relax. Exactly what I was looking for. You saw me push on it and it pushed right through and then fat rendered down nice and perfectly. So I'm gonna grab some butcher paper, we're gonna get it wrapped up and throw it back on there and raise that temp up to 275 until this thing is 100% done. So this pork butt has been cooking at about 12 hours now, maybe a little bit more because it's been sitting and cooling, but it's important that we let it sit and cool because we cooked it at 12 hours, roughly 9.5 hours, 250 degrees. We wrapped it after we did a little push test to see if that fat has broken down and been where we wanted it to be. We wrapped it up in some paper and then we cranked it up to 275 until it was tender. Now remember, time isn't as important as temperature, and tenderness is more important than temperature. So we kind of take those steps in that order. We hit the time mark, then we check the temperature, and then we cook until it's pro-tender. We never cook to time or temperature, but we have to use those as markers and steps to get to where we're going. So this has been sitting and it's nice and cool. We never want it to get down below 140 degrees. Remember, that temperature zone, 40 to 140, is the danger zone. Let's go ahead and get this pulled and see how it looks. Now, I wrapped this in paper and I flipped it upside down because it's important that these juices are able to reabsorb as it cools off, because that muscle is so tense as it's hot. As it cools off, it relaxes. As it relaxes, it's just like a sponge and it absorbs those juices back inside of it. Now, if you shred a pork butt that's hot, it's going to look amazing for about 30 seconds, and then it's going to be dry and disgusting. So let's let it cool down, cool to the touch, and let's get to it. Okay guys, so let's take a taste of this pulled pork. We let it sit out here for a while, and I want to get a piece of this delicious pulled pork that has a little bit of bark to it. So got to get a little bit of bark in there. It may just be plain salt and pepper, a little water spritz. But I tell you what, nothing beats a 12-hour low and slow pork butt. Good piece of bark right here. So good. Make sure if you haven't liked and subscribed, you do that now so I can help you become an amazing backyard barbecue person, man, woman, whatever. Who cares? It's 2021. You can be what you want. Like, subscribe, drink more water. Brisket Medic, I love you. I'm out of here. I'm gonna eat some of this butt.